One of the things that has come up quite a bit in this last hour is this concept that we talked about it earlier, I think, but one of the themes that in this podcast that emerges all the time is that you get good at anything that you practice. And one of the other things that's been coming out is that it seems unclear that there's any evidence against the idea that whatever you think about, you create.
Say it again?
That your brain is built to take your thoughts and turn them into reality. That's maybe what it's meant to do. And there's pretty compelling evidence that if you look at the way that the world works, that you can see that everywhere, which also means that what you think has an enormous impact on the future. And the way that we think about the future, and that if we keep thinking that the future is heading in a direction where none of us can come back from it, that our brains might create that exact future only because we're allowing ourselves to become compelled by that story rather than a story about what we could do to create an even better future. And what does this moment give us? Maybe we are at the absolute lowest point in the death of the identity that we need to have as a group of people. But does that not put us the closest we've ever been to being able to create a whole new identity that could go in a totally different direction? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I am sad to say that later on you're going to have to look at 6, which was the question that I believe that he said was, how did he describe that one, Oliver?
I said question 6 was a banger.
A banger.
Yeah. Okay, so who has question 7?
That is directly to your right.
Julie gets finally a question.
Do I get a golden ticket and I get to go to Willy Wonka's shop?
Get a golden
100%. You get to skip everything else and go
yay,
right.
the flying bed. And
What
that
part
was
of-
a weird movie, by the way.
That was a weird
It was a
movie.
weird
Which
movie.
one? The
All
original
of
or all of
them.
them?
I mean, really.
Didn't they just make another one too with Timothée Chalamet?
Yes.
Really?
Prequel.
Yes.
That was like the
I don't wanna
the
break
backstory of Wonka.
Do you like Dune?
I love Dune.
That
Oh,
doesn't
gosh.
surprise me at all.
But I will say that like what I like about it is nostalgic because it was one of my favorite I've never read the books.
Okay, the books are
Dane has read
fantastic.
all of the books and loves them, but
Yeah.
I have a nostalgic like childhood memory of playing the computer game, like endlessly, which
Oh, God,
was
I'm
really,
old.
really fun.
I'm like Oregon Trail. You died of dysentery.
No,
Oh, I played Oregon Trail as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Dune, the computer game, and Doom, the computer game were also.
I've never done Doom, but
Oh.
Dune.
Yeah. Dune was a good one.
Do you know? Did we get this one? I'm confused. As you look ahead, look ahead. That's right. As you look ahead, how has motherhood changed the way you think about your own identity being beyond being needed by others? Oh.
We did talk about it a little bit, yeah. Like, what does that look like?
So I think critically what the question is pointing towards is like, once you get to the point, like you described, where your kids have moved, are at a different age, you get more freedom back. What do you want that freedom to represent for you? What do you want your identity to be in that freedom?
I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer for any of these. I think the common theme that I keep replaying in my head is and I've had very different experiences than the way you guys have explained everything. And the only thing I can think of is I have no expectations I never had a vision for what my life was going to be, what I wanted to do when I grow up. I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up.
I don't know what I want to do when I grow up either.
It's a common theme, and I have no other than like my priorities, and that's my family first, and their dog second. I have no other expectations for my life. And
Does not having those expectations, does that feel like freedom to you, or does it feel like a trap?
It doesn't feel either. It's just never something that I've really thought about. Like, I've never really said I can't explain it. I can't explain. It's probably that like type behavior. Like, I'm not. My kids are driven. Like, they're totally opposite from me. They all know what they want to do. I knew I wanted to be a mom. Maybe a business lady. Like, that was my career path.
Right.
And I'm doing those ish, minus the unemployment part, but I'm doing those. You know, it's hard for me to answer some of these because I don't know. I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah. I think thank you for being so honest about that in particular, but also, you know, hopefully talking about it starts to either solidify that that's okay to just kind of live in the moment and be where you are, or solidifies the idea that like, having a plan could also be helpful to being able to figure out how to give that direction. I don't think either one are right or wrong. It's just trying to kind of evaluate those as they come up, you know?
Yeah. I have like a fantasy style plan.
Do say.
I feel like I will say, caveat, I watch a lot of movies, mostly old movies and TV, but I feel like in my perfect world at the moment, what I would really love to do is have a space and a place that feels very mine/ours, that my kids feel comfortable coming back to. Like I love the scenes in movies or TV where it's like the big table outside or in the kitchen where like all of the adult children and even like, you know, grandkids feel like good about this, sitting around a table, having conversations. I'm almost like more excited than I should be about, I think I told this to you like weeks ago, but like I'm more excited than I probably should be about the age of like my kids being adults and getting to be friends with them and having like these kind of deep relationships with them, which it gets deeper and deeper every day that they get older and we're spending more time with them. But this idea of them just always, no matter where they are in the world, no matter where we are in the world, like a table and a space where we can all come back to together and like share a meal and conversation and real time together. And I in my mind, like that's the most important thing of what I'm trying to build. Like I don't even care where it is. I don't get like, but I want a space where they always feel like they can come back to.
Kind of amazing clarity from both of you that the priority here is back to family, but a different version of family that you get to enjoy in a different way. You know what I mean? Like you very rarely hear people say this all the time. Like on your deathbed, nobody's like, "Wish I worked more."
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so like clearly it comes back to family. But then if you look at the way that you have to spend your time in the middle of your life, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, yeah.
It's a lot of work. But there is also something to be said for delayed gratification. That, you know, there are times in your life where you have to delay something so that you know that you can get to something. And I don't know what the equation is on that. It's probably very unique to each person, but that's an interesting part of it too.
Oh, it's back to me.
Only if you want it to be.
No. So it's interesting. It's like, ooh, this question is like identity beyond being needed by others. And I think that word needed is like, if I can underscore that one, I think the need is so intense, less so now when they're a little more independent, is the need part, I think that's the draining part. My vision, if it was like a motherhood, is hopefully, I mean, if that's God willing, if that's what he wants, Eamon wants to have children, it's less that it's such an intensive need as so much as you can enjoy the moment, because it's just, you're not as needed, like, in other words, like, to provide, you know, financially and everything, and just really enjoy.
So you're looking forward to being a grandparent and having that level of
people's like,
yeah.
Oh, I want
you can hand them back,
and I want this,
Yeah.
and I was like, no, like my dream. I know this is so sad, and it's not sad, but my dream is like to at least get to a point where I'm financially stable enough that I could at least, if God willing, I have grandchildren, I can take care of them a couple of days a week, which seems counterintuitive because. It's like, that's what's so draining when they're little, but I want to go back to it. You're like, wait, that doesn't make sense. Because I do feel like when Eamon was little, I feel like I missed a big chunk of the enjoyment, which is weird because you were in the moment. But for some reason, I couldn't really savor it for some reason.
Because stress.
Because it was
Exhaustion.
awful.
I couldn't really savor
We'll back you up on this one.
Yeah, like, you know.
Thanks for being honest about that, though, because I feel the same way. I really, I love my kids so much, but there was so many parts of watching remembering what it was like to be around them when they were kids that I just remember feeling tired.
Yeah, like I felt really tired. Like this is again very pathetic example, but like, and I think maybe you and I talked about this one point, Katie, like Little Sprout. So our kids went to daycare together, and I was like, I just want to do the Mother Goose time at the library.
Yeah.
Like I missed that, and it was always like 10 a.m. on a Wednesday. You know, when the rest of the world is working.
The resentment.
Oh
that
my God,
I
I'm
felt
still, like,
in that time period.
Physically.
Pretty intense. Like
To whom?
I was just angry at all aspects of it. Like I was angry. I remember I joined, and this was for my son, so firstborn. I joined a mother's group, which was already outside my like. Not what I wanted to do, but I felt like, I was new to the area. It was a good way to get to know people. But it was the Newburyport Mothers Group. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Oliver.
I know where this is going.
So I was like new to the area, brand new to the area. I came from Canada, so I like was newly able to work. I had to basically reset because when you come to a new country, while your paperwork is going through, you're not allowed to work. So you're just completely dependent on another person, and you have to reset your life. Like how we make friends is all in many cases comes from like a community that you had as a child or a work community, and I just was deprived of all of those. So I joined this mothers group, but I would say 95% of those mothers were all stay-at-home, fairly wealthy women that were older as well. Like I was 28 when I had Kieran. They were all like in their early 40s, and I don't think I really realized that plus the state, like, so their plan was just like they got all of the stuff that I couldn't afford. So like they were able to just be like, we're all taking our kids to the Mother Goose time, or we're all doing all these other things. And for me, it was a horrible trade-off because I was staring down, I'm making basically the same amount of money that I'm handing over to the daycare.
Yeah.
But if I quit my job, I'll never get a job again, and I'll lose a huge part of my identity and my skill set, and I will feel resentment over that. But then I'm handing over this huge amount of money, and I don't get to spend all the time with my kids. So it felt like this losing side of both coins, and I was staring at this group of women who were able to do, and I didn't even necessarily, I don't think I ever wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but this idea of like, how like they were older, so they were already more established. They had they had planned for that, and so they were able to make that decision. But because I was both younger, I just felt like I was never able to make that decision. It was sort of made for me, and I think it was the right decision what I did. But yeah, those moments of like that, and then like back to breastfeeding, but the entire like having to deal with that while at work, and then worried about like whether or not my kid had enough milk or enough food during the day, like the stress of all of it, and you can't do all the things you want to do that define your perception of motherhood was rough. So I felt resentment on all levels towards everyone.
I think it goes back to you said, Kate, earlier, is like we're always stretched. It's like you can't really be in the moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like being a grandparent.
So you could, exactly.
You can be in the moment.
You can get that back.
You've been past some of the other hurdles. Like I just want to make like salt dough clay figurines with like my grandchildren and not have to worry about like I have to get on a conference call at 2:00. Like I like doing hands-on things. Like I just couldn't do it. But I think in parallel though, I want to make sure, I'm hoping that I'm in a point where I also have time for myself, because I think that will make me a better partner and mother to my adult son. So that's my dream, man. It's my dream.
It's a great dream. It's a great dream. I think having grandchildren is going to be the best. And it's interesting. I don't know if the three of you have experienced this lately, but I had a chance within the last couple of years to be around a baby quite often. And it was like a totally different experience for me. I felt so calm, and I just wanted to observe. You know what I mean? I wasn't worried about anything. I would just sit there with them, and I just really enjoyed watching this little human learn so many different things in different ways. And I don't remember feeling that way at all with my own kids. I remember being like, how can I get you to a place where you're not upset, and then I can like have a second to relax, and then we could do this, and then we do this, and then we go to bed, and then we wake up, and we just do it all over again, over and over and over again. But when I was around this kid, I was just like, really appreciative of what it was going to be a grandfather. And I hope it feels the same way to be a grandmother. But like, man, I can just chill. I can just be chill. But I think when you're young, and especially when, I was 24, we all kind of talked about the ages that we were when you have kids. Like, I kind of felt like I was a baby having a baby.
Yeah.
Because you were.
Because you were, yeah.
And maybe if we go back to the first question and it can connect to where we go from here, but I try to remind anybody who, I had children so much younger than the rest of my friends. So anytime they start having kids, I try to tell them the truth from my perspective, which is that not everything about having your kids is going to be easy. Not everything about your life after you have kids is going to go the way you think it's going to go. There's going to be a lot of unknowns that go into this. But the one thing that I can tell you for sure is that kid's going to break your narcissism.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You are going to have you're going to have a much more difficult time only thinking about yourself. That there is another level. Now there is definitely versions, and I would say the extreme version is just not having a relationship with your child. That is the ultimate version of not taking on the responsibility and continuing to stay in a state of narcissism. But if you have any relationship with your kid, then you are giving up some of your own personal freedoms to be able to make sure that you're looking out for the best interests of that child. And all of that is an increased breaking of the narcissism that we collect over our childhood. It's a huge gift. It's the greatest gift that anyone has ever given me in my entire life. And it came from both of my sons, but in particular, my oldest son, who I had for 5 years before the younger one was born. And it was like, man, the things like I can't watch television when I want to anymore. Like that's something that I was actually addicted to, that I have to figure out how like the television, that if I really want to watch Survivor on Wednesday nights, like I can't watch it on Wednesday nights anymore. I have to, and all of those little things that you look back and you're like, what the fuck? Like that was even an issue. But then it was like, it was an issue.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. I'm excited to be a grandparent. I hope that's a great experience for all of us. All right, question number 8, until we get to our last and final question. Okay, question number 8 is, as your children become more independent over time, what feels most important to focus on for yourself now? I think we kind of covered this in some ways, but we can expand if anybody has any thoughts.
Yeah, I'm in like a space of trying to find, hobbies isn't necessarily even the right word for it, but like creative pursuits that I can do either by myself or with my family that feel that they're not, again, like not work, they're not just for family, they're kind of in that outside space.
Is there anything that we can do as your friend to help you pursue that?
No, not that I can think of. I mean, I'm married to like a serial hobbyist.
Yes,
I don't know how well you know.
Yes, you are.
As you can remember,
He might be like one of the most capable people I've ever known.
Yeah.
As far as just like you talk to him, and you're like, you can do what? You can do all of that? What is happening? You're building an airplane in your garage right now? Like, what the hell?
I'm like actually at this point of like trying to, I'm a fiercely competitive person, and I've spent my entire relationship like being number 2 against all of the stuff that so like I'm constantly trying to find the thing that I can do that he's just shitty at, to be like, look what I
just
did.
one up him right before you go to bed.
But mini golf so far, I can beat him at mini golf.
Okay.
He's even decent at crochet, so I can't even, he's like a weird
Oh, come
mix of-
on.
He is. I'm getting better.
He's
though.
a Renaissance man.
He's a Renaissance man.
But can he podcast like you?
He cannot podcast. He has
There you
podcasted,
go.
but yeah.
I
You know,
Always find it.
if you wanted to, we could get him on here with you so that you could really get a direct
You should totally
comparison
do
between
like a
us.
couples thing.
Absolutely.
We should do a couples one.
100%. I'm open for any kind of conversation that comes into this room, because we're trying to do 3,000 of these conversations.
you got a
know
lot
what I
to
mean?
knock
So
through.
like but I'm feeling fairly confident at this point, especially after tonight, to be honest, because this might have been the most enjoyable conversation that we've had.
You might need to edit some things.
But I think that if we have 3,000 conversations, I think that it might be a worthwhile experience, because it creates a log of conversations that people can go to that that they can look at and feel like that's also a possibility. You know, that not every conversation has to be about resolving conflict. Some conversations can just be having fun, trying to come to conclusions, of alignment, which is
Right.
also resolving conflict.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Conflict.
Okay, you guys ready for the last question?
Yeah.
So I think.
I mean,
that
are you
this is-
sure we don't want to go back to 6? Because we could
We
just
can go back to 6. You want to do a speed round at 6 just so you see what it
kinda
is?
wanna see
There are no
6.
rules
I want to
here.
see 6.
I know.
Six.
I know. It's like hanging over for us.
I know. I need.
Here
I don't know.
is-
Humans need to close loops. I need
Okay,
to
so
close
who
this
reads
loop.
who reads number 6, Oliver?
That's going to be Christine.
I was like, did Oliver fall
Christine,
asleep?
sorry, I've done a horrible job getting that to you all night.
I can reach. I feel like there's a lot of pressure because of
I
this
know,
banger
it's
question.
a
so-
banger
question.
Let's see.
Is this the banger question
Yeah,
or is that
no,
one?
No,
Nope.
this is it.
This
is
This
it.
is all. This is the one that all of
I
us
feel like we need like a little drum roll
Who's got a really
for the
good
banger
one? Here we
question.
go.
What patterns have you noticed again and again in the seasons of life when your family feels healthiest and most connected? So where we are at our best, basically.
What patterns do we notice where we're
That's-
at our best?
Oh.
That needs some thought. Really, I mean,
Honestly, I think I know how to answer that one. It's as much as it pains,
I don't want to answer this one, but I can.
as much as it pains my husband and son, and they will roll their eyes and they get this. It's when I'm like, nope, we're gonna eat dinner at the table. We're gonna eat dinner at the table. There's no devices, and you have to talk to me for 15 minutes.
So community.
Yes,
Yeah.
and when we go out to eat, because when you're out to eat, you can't get up and leave the table. Like we eat, like it's like looks like a scene from Cabbage. It's like pigs like eating in the trough and they're gone, right? But it's generally eat meals together, and then we have like uninterrupted time with meals and have conversations. It feels amazing when we like get up and go, because at some point you have to get up and go do your own thing. I'm like, okay, I feel connected to my family because we've talked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make total sense though? Because
Yeah.
food is nourishment of the body. So it makes a lot of sense that we would create a process of communicating our mindsets at the same time and nourish both.
Yeah.
It's pretty profound, actually. I think that family meals is maybe way more important than we've given it credit for in the direction the world is moving. Everything seems to be moving so fast.
Right.
Maybe we're missing this ability to just like slow down and figure out how you sit down and have a meal together, and that's profound in and of itself.
Making the time for time
Yeah.
is a tricky thing, but when we do, like even like family cookouts, like even with your extended family, like when I see extended family, it's like, oh, it was so good to see them. Although there are some you probably don't really want to see. But anyway, but then
Most of them,
you
it was
feel
good.
like good when you leave. You're like, oh, it was so good to see them. I haven't seen them in like a year and a half, and it was good to catch up.
Yeah.
I find a good way of connecting with the kids as everybody's go is car time. So family dinner
I love
time is
car
good,
time, yeah.
Yeah.
but car time is
Yeah.
Especially one-on-one card.
one-on-one
when it's just
car
one
time
kid and
is
you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to drive Marley all over New Hampshire for softball games and tournaments, and we got a lot of connection in.
that's
And
so
now
nice.
I think now that she's not doing that anymore, she misses it. So she'll come home from work and like look for me to eat dinner with. And even though we've already eaten and it's like 10 o'clock at night when she's getting home, like I'll sit down with her. And then the back and forth long hauls with Casey back to North Carolina, because I don't still feel confident that she can do it on her own. She's like 3 hours max. That's all drive time she gets. But that just long haul, we get a lot of good conversation in. And then Grayson, there's no real long hauls, but like the short distance from the school to the house is really all he cares to give me. But
Right now.
right now, and I think it's the time of day for him. So sometimes he's in the morning, forget about it. He's like, I don't want to talk. Or like we're driving to soccer, and I drove him and Sage to soccer, and they were both like
Oh yeah.
zombies. And
Yeah.
I was like, it's not even like it was 10. It wasn't even early,
very
guys.
early for 14-year-olds.
Very, very early for 14-year-old boys. But on the way back, like,
And those two can talk.
those who can talk, and they I'm like, great, this is great, and they didn't shut up. But but you could see the shift, like in that afternoon hour for them. It's like they were really chatty. So
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I would say for me it's road trips. It's it's travel. It's time like away out of our normal routine where
Yeah.
we feel more intentional about spending that time. Like,
Yeah.
because we need to work together to make a meal, or we're going out somewhere, or we're going on a tour or adventuring somewhere. So it feels easier to, I think, like unplug and just spend time together. So it's those moments I think that are like I'm wanting to do more and more of the older they get, because it's just like nice to just be us as a family group.
Maybe it's breaking a pattern with intentional time,
Yep.
there you go.
you know, with intentional time where the person on the other end of it feels unconditional love.
Yeah.
Like that's probably an important piece of it as well.
It's like in that moment.
Yeah. Okay. Ready for last question?
All
I
right.
think this is it right
That
here.
was the best question. Just
A banger.
So
Good
far.
job, Oliver.
So
You
far.
called the banger. We almost didn't get to it. So
or the banger, as you gotta say it.
Thank you.
Banger.
straight out of The Departed.
There you go.
Me incapable at opening a book. All right. When you look back on this chapter of your life, what will matter most to you about the person you chose to become? You look back. What will matter most
In the person you in the
about the person you chose to become?
I can rephrase it because when you think back about who you are sitting around this table right now, when you think about like the future version of you, thinking about you sitting at this table,
Oh, yeah.
what are you going to be proud of? What are you going to be really grateful for to you now?
It's a hard one.
I'm gonna refer back to my low expectations. I know it sounds like just very loosey goosey, but it's being able to be flexible and be in the moment. So going back to work-life balance, I've never felt, even though we have work at home and I'm always on so I can still talk about like I was working. When I was working, and I had the work cell and the home cell, like I've never felt it difficult to divide my time, and I can still give the person attention on the other side of that phone and then shift. And I have an easy capability to shift focus, and maybe that's not a good thing because maybe I'm not seeing that it is actually divided, but being able to be flexible has given me that blessing of I can go to the kids' events, I can go to the soccer games, I can go to the plays, and I'm not missing that because I don't want to miss that. I really want to be at those events, and I still want to work.
Yeah.
So I think to me that's always been a blessing, and I feel fortunate to have a forgiving and flexible personality that allows me to do something like this, like sit around this table, like you said. Marley called it a side quest, which I love. She's like the side quest that you choose, but I do choose them intentionally, and I choose the ones that I think are going to benefit me and help me learn. And I guess maybe that's it. That's
That's awesome.
That's a great place to be.
I don't know, Julie.
I think similarly, like that I chose, although it can be a struggle. This I call it the struggle to juggle. I'm grateful that I've done that because I feel like I could have gone either gangbusters on just work or only just being a mom. And like I grew up in a house and my mom was your typical 1950s, 60s,
same,
and I loved that. But I felt like I was sacrificing like one for the other, and I think I've done okay with the juggling, and I'm grateful for that. But I hope that I haven't, and it goes back to what I said at the very beginning. Like I hope I didn't fail at one.
Yeah.
You didn't.
I know, but I will always kind of think that, but I think like I'm grateful for the opportunity in our culture and society today that I could do both. I hope that that opportunity is still available in the future for others, but I'm grateful for this opportunity at this point in my life to be able to do that I didn't have to sacrifice one over the other.
Yeah.
I think.
But why put the pressure on yourself to
just
say that I could fail, or I have failed, or like
That's just
what difference does it make?
It doesn't. But I like. But that's just my personality. I feel like I have to like.
Could I share something that I went through last year? I spent that time by myself, and one of the things that the further into my own mindset that I got, and the more I tried to unravel my own insecurities, I realized that the very core of any insecurity that I had found in my life, at the very core of that was this one perpetuating thought, which was that I'm not enough. And when I looked back at different versions of my life, different ups and downs that I had experienced, I heard the tone of me saying that to myself in different ways. So when I was a teenager, it's like, you're not enough to be able to get the attention of the person that you really want to get the attention of. When I was in, my 20s, it might have been like, you're not enough to be where you want to be between, a business that you're trying to build and where you're at with your family. Then you go through divorces, then you go through all kinds of stuff. And what I found out this year was that I can't stop that voice. That voice will always be there. It is me. It is at the core of me. It's deep inside of my DNA that I'm not enough. But now I have to figure out how to change the tone of my voice. And that tone, I think, should be like, of course you're not enough. Like, who is? Nobody's enough.
Point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the things that I can do well, I can try to be the best version of that I can possibly be. And then I can go out and find people who fill the gaps of the places where I know I have weaknesses, so that collectively I might be able to build something that is enough. But of course I'm not enough. And I think once I changed my tone of voice, it completely allowed me to realign myself with the idea that good or bad things don't go away. Like these looping thoughts that we've had our whole lives, they don't necessarily just disappear because you realize that you want them to disappear. They disappear because you practice telling yourself those things in a way that's nurturing to you rather than attacking you. Because we are attacking ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And what logical sense does that make in a life where, from what I can tell, the only thing that feels universal about what everybody should be trying to do with their life is that they should be trying to have the best version of their individual life. Whatever cards you were dealt, it's just trying to play those cards the best that you possibly can to give yourself the shot to live your best life. And yet we spend a lot of time beating ourselves up along the way of trying to not allow ourselves just to, to get there. So I hope that,
Yeah, no, it's really
if you have that same voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, similar to what you both said, like I do feel grateful for the amount of time that I do get to spend, although I would love to shift it so that it's a little bit more intentional. But I feel lucky that I get to go to every game, and I get to go, I spend more time with my kids than either of my parents got to spend with me. Even my stay-at-home mom, who is home a lot, I think the time that I get to spend with them and the things we get to do as a family, and I look at all the different, even though I have, and Christine knows, endless frustration over the amount of after-school activities that my children are in. There is something that, I was never able to do that as a kid. My parents couldn't afford to have us, and the school didn't offer things through the school. So, it is kind of incredible that even though it does feel chaotic and busy, and attention is ripped in all these different places, that it's still a huge opportunity that I didn't necessarily even think that I would have, and I do feel grateful for that. I still have the same voice in the back of my head, though. How could I have done it differently? How could I have done it better?
Did I do it?
Did I make
well
all the right
enough?
decisions?
Right. Yeah. I don't know where. I don't even know what that even. I don't know how. I'm not articulating it well. It's it's never going to be enough. I'm always gonna be like, oh, you always have room for improvement. But that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't think. And I'm not really ever comparing myself to anyone. It's just me.
Yeah.
The one thing that I have come
Yeah.
to realize though is that whatever feelings I have about myself, I also accidentally project on the people I love the most.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I was doing it. It was subconscious. And then once I was able to kind of bring it to a more conscious level, I realized like, I never feel enough. Shit, that might also be a pattern that I have with loved ones, that I make them feel like they're never enough for me. I better really be careful about this, because if somebody is enough for me, I definitely do not want to give them that feeling, because that's just my insecurity that I'm making them pay a price for. And that is not what loving somebody is all about. Like, what loving somebody is all about is trying to figure out your own shit so that you can make sure that you wake up every day and you're just like, man, I would love to make your life better. Like, what a gift. Because personally, I've never experienced anything that's brought me more joy than generosity. And I'm not saying that I'm the most generous person in the world. I just mean when I have opportunities to be generous, that is the feeling that makes me feel the best about myself. And so that must be the biggest opportunity that we have in the relationships that we build with each other, is just figuring out how we can indulge in the idea of being generous to one another without feeling like it's a checklist, or that it's a opportunity to wait until we have this tit and tat back and forth, or that it's transactional in some way. It's just like, man, I could be alone, or I could be with people that I really enjoy being around. And, you know, like, what an amazing opportunity to have gratitude for those people. I think gratitude might be the thing. You know what I mean? It just might be the secret weapon that we have to tap into more often to be able to get clarity on more things.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Okay, I think, where are we in the episode? How much time do we have left?
So you guys have been sitting in there for 3 hours, but 20 minutes of that was
Bathroom.
either before we started recording or during the bathroom break. So that timer, the sand timer, is pretty accurate. I would say, you know, not that you have to continue to interrogate these prisoners.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. First of all, I've been trying to end every episode with a moment of gratitude.
Okay.
And first and foremost, let me say that I'm very grateful to you, because over the last year, you're one of the few people who I've been in contact with quite a bit, and just exchanging, like, you've helped me a ton getting Sage where he needs to go. You were the person who, when I was backed against a corner and didn't know how, as a single dad, I was going to figure out how to do it by myself, you were one of the very few people who I knew, if I reached out to you, that you would have my back. So
I got you.
genuinely, I appreciate you. And this is also a representation of how you had my back. When I got to this point and I said, I got this really weird idea, this is what I'm doing. And I could tell, even when I started telling you about the fullness of what we were trying to work on, every once in a while I could see you be like, this is interesting. And then every once in a while you'd be like,
That is so her.
you'd be like, what
Interesting.
the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, this dude
I love this.
This dude might be insane.
Hiding my like.
I can hear you say, this is interesting.
Yeah, I've become pretty attuned to understanding what people's eyes are saying to me, and your eyes were always compassionate, but there was moments where your eyes were telling me, you're onto something, and then there were other moments where your eyes were telling me, like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, this is a little bit too weird.
Not the first time I've heard that. I need to like wear shades.
Nope. But I also have been trying to be as honest with you throughout the year of how much I appreciated that felt like honesty. That I really liked the fact that when I was talking to you, I wasn't trying to figure out which one of those. But with that said, when I came to you with this idea, you came in here and you checked this all out, and then immediately went home and then called, and called in the troops to be able to come in. And so thank you to the
I got
two
more
of you
troops,
for.
so
Yeah.
Of course.
But I just, to both of you, like, thank you. I know we haven't gotten a ton of time to get to know each other outside of soccer, but I feel like this was an opportunity to be able to do
100%.
that, and really enjoyed it. And we've been neighbors,
I know. I'm sad we're not neighbors anymore.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It was a great season and chapter,
Yeah.
and I'm so glad that you were the people that moved into that house. And I can't tell you how grateful I was when you moved into that house. Like, it was, but that's what this is, right? It's seasons, and each of those seasons brings different opportunities. And I'm so grateful to the three of you to be at the very beginning of this season of what we're doing here. And all I'm hoping is that this podcast ends up being a representation of what a great conversation can be. And I don't know if you feel this way, but I definitely am walking away from this conversation feeling like this was a great conversation. I don't know if we could have had, like the topic went from feeling light to heavy, to heavy, but that's real. That's what life is you get these moments where we all get a laugh in, and then you also get these moments where we're talking about like demon pornography. And we've got to,
Okay. I am going to put some money on the table and say what'd you say, it's 3,000? No one else is going to bring up demon pornography, okay? Just
okay, well, I don't feel like you're giving me enough credit. I'm going to...
You don't know the people that...
You have no idea how hard I'll try to get somebody to talk about demon pornography now that you've put this out there.
I'm going to have to send you guys the book. Oh, God.
But genuinely, thank you. I appreciate all three of you. I hope that you really enjoyed the experience, and I hope that the three of you want to come back and do this again. Let's do it as often as we want to.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I hope you come back with different people. I hope we create different conversations. Our goal is always going to be to create a theme, and then to make sure that we try to create a connection to the people who are sitting there through their lens and their perspective, and just have fun.
Yeah.
I feel like the world is trying to have fun by being chaotic. And this feels like maybe we could have fun by finding peace with one another. You know what I mean?
100%.
By like feeling like, okay, next time we see each other, it's going to be like seeing an old friend, where even if you don't see each other every day or all the time, the second we see each other, we're going to remember what this moment felt like. And we're going to be able to come back to this as a basis of what friendship can be. And I'm really excited to have started this experience with you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. This was fun.
It was fun.
A lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, that's a wrap. That's it. That's
Nice
the
job,
Unscripted.
guys.
Nice job, Oliver.
Great job.